There are a lot of people who want to find love, but they don't use traditional methods anymore. Folks nowadays mostly find people online, or they just decide to live without. Most people I know weren't the type to go out and meet other people before the pandemic ended, so it's hard to imagine from what you're telling me that we'll ever see a revival. Many men went around making it their goal in life to sleep with a new girl every day. A significant number of people continue to favor the conventional model of dating, in which the male is the one who is required to make the initial investment of his time and money, while the woman only needs to wait for the man to come to her. While dating as we know it is slowly fading, new technologies that are both self-driven and of the digital variety are quickly being developed to replace the ancient tradition of human interaction. It's my prediction that these new technologies will take over the space that dating has typically occupied, and we'll see a shift in the social norms from what we're used to. Judging by how people interact with one another socially and taking the country's economy into account with how tough times are becoming due to rising inflation, we can see that females want to find a way to help cover their monthly living expenses as well. The traditional dating approach, which consists of getting to know someone, then bringing them out to dinner and drinks, is gradually losing ground in today's world. These are going to be examples of anecdotal evidence, but they carry a lot of weight and can provide us with some insight into the path that we are going to be taking in the future. I want all of you to take note of the ways in which the younger generation has been exploited for financial gain over the past few years, particularly after the epidemic. Take a look at how they are reacting to OnlyFans right now. They have been able to stay current with the many social media and payment channels that are available today. Take a look at some of the women on Instagram who are being flown out to go shopping by wealthy men. Sugar daddy websites and cam sites have been around for some time, but the popularity of using them among young ladies is growing all the time. Look at what they're doing and how people who use sugar are different. They're blowing the secret out in the open for everyone to see. These are things that are happening right now as I type the script, and they are becoming increasingly acceptable in the society of today. I am creating the script right now, to such an extent that women can be seen literally selling sex on the streets of Seattle during the daytime hours. Because I am confident that some of you still don't believe me and are searching for additional proof, I suggest that all of you look for sugar daddy sites on the internet. You have access to all of the evidence right now. But if you still aren't convinced, I'm sorry to say it's your loss. Take a good look at the facts, since you would rather go through life with blinders on and pretend something with which you disagree doesn't exist than embrace the fact that this is the path we are going to take in the future. If you want to be a morality police, then go ahead, but the truth is the truth. And it's largely young ladies that are doing this nowadays to make a little more money on the side. So I want you to look at who matters right now in the dating business. It turns out that it's not the older generations who are the ones who are out there engaging in illegal activities for a little bit of money. It's actually the younger generation who have no qualms about doing these things due to their lack of experience and willingness to take more risks. You don't have to take part in it, but this is the reality of where we're going, and I'm just here to report on what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't have to join in it. I'm not here to persuade anyone to engage in behavior that goes against their moral compass in any way. I want you all to keep in mind that there is a strong correlation between dating and prostitution. I have read a few articles that discuss how dating is the new concept that has taken the role of courtship. It was considered sinful for males to carry ladies outdoors and wine and dine them, but we were brought up watching people engage in the type of courtship that we now refer to as dating, so we didn't think anything of it. It is already the norm for us, so my prognosis is that the kind of dating that we know today will alter and grow into something other. I assume it will be connected to women selling themselves in an ethically monogamous relationship similar to what we see online, because ethical non-monogamy is a new word that has been used recently in place of polyamory. I'll explain what it means for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. The concept of ethical non-monogamy refers to the practice of engaging in romantic relationships with multiple persons at the same time that are not fully exclusive from one another. Simply put, the term polyamory just rolls off the tongue more easily. They always act in this manner. They alter the meanings of things in order to accommodate the sentiments of individuals. But in any case, the reason I brought up ethically non-monogamous partnerships is that this is the direction in which we are moving based on the current climate of the dating market. Allow me to illustrate what I'm trying to say with a real-world scenario to which you can all relate so that you can grasp the concept. Consider the following scenario. A young woman of Generation Z has a boyfriend who is roughly the same age as her, and the two of them together are unable to pay all of their monthly bills and costs of living together. Therefore, the young lady makes the decision to sign up for a sugar daddy website such as Seeking Arrangements. After that, a sugar daddy gives her a few extra dollars in return of her special favors to help her and her boyfriend pay for their day-to-day expenses, provided that she has her boyfriend's permission to do so. This is very likely what the next generation of dating will look like, and the future holds a lot of promise for independent contractors as well as wealthy older men. Ethical monogamy or polyamory, depending on whether you're a young head or an old head, may become the term of choice for young men who are required to accept the fact that their girlfriends will be monetized and may sell sex on the side. If you're still having trouble believing me, all you have to do is check out girls on Instagram who have boyfriends. These boyfriends need to be comfortable with the idea that their girlfriends are putting themselves out there for the scrutiny of hundreds, if not thousands of men from all over the world. Because she makes more money than he does, some boyfriends feel they have no choice but to follow her lead and participate in embarrassing activities such as blowing out their girlfriend's back on camera. Sometimes, when the content becomes repetitive with the boyfriend being the only man smashing the girl, she's required to bring in a fan or other OnlyFans star to have bedroom fun on camera in order to keep her subscriptions going, and the boyfriend is required to just buck up. Guys, this is the direction in which we will be heading. It is my prediction that non-monogamy will become the new standard for dating, and that laws will be altered in such a way as to make it at least partially acceptable for men and women to engage in heinous behaviors such as those described earlier. Women who stand up for morality on their own will not receive support from the government. They don't really care about women in that way, so they are either going to tax men in order to give the money to women, or they are going to make it somewhat legal for men to pay married women for favors in order to help support them. It is common knowledge that on dating apps, at least 80% of women select the top 20 men to date. What if I told you that women would prefer to date a man who they think is equal to or better than themselves over a man who they think is beneath them or unfit to meet their needs? You probably concur with me. The argument that women choose high-value men and that hypergamy is a problem arises from the fact that the bottom 80% of men either don't get selected or can hardly get one woman to ask them out on a date. We're all on board with that. Cool. Men, all you have to do is open your eyes, and you'll see that what I'm saying is already taking place. Take Andrew Tate and Dan Bilzerian, for instance. Both of these high-value men have plenty of money, and I don't see any of them with just one woman. Instead, I see them both surrounded by several women who have no problem sharing them. If I'm being honest, it seems like these women are members of a harem. I know that some of their women are paid, but most of them are there by their own choice. I'm aware that the majority of you won't want to admit that this is the direction we're going, but if you're ready to face reality, the proof is in the pudding. Could it be that I'm mistaken and this doesn't apply to modern dating? Obviously not. I'll be in the right, and I have the proof. Going back to the video title with men, no longer approaching women if men are no longer willing to date and support. Women financially, what are women going to do? What are men going to do to bust that nut? If men are paying for what they want, they won't need to approach women, and women will get the money they want. Do you now see how everything fits together nicely? Instead, any man could sign up for a profile on a sugar daddy website and women would contact him rather than the other way around. With just a few hundred to thousands of dollars depending on the caliber of the woman you want, you could then finally get what you really want and crack that nasty nut. If they set morality aside and have a little bit of money, men who will be in the bottom 80% of men and have no chance of meeting their ideal woman can still bust that nasty nut because they won't need to approach women or spend money on dinner dates to go on a traditional date. A short while ago, I took part in some pay-to-play, and I didn't have to put in any effort at all. Because I was able to get what I needed for a reasonable price, the decision is now yours to make. I've crossed over to the other side. Brothers, that's the bottom line. You can choose to pay in terms of money, energy, attention, or time. However, I decided to only pay in terms of money. I totally get it if you're not ready or don't feel comfortable joining as free agents on the dark side, and I won't judge you for it. Brothers, you should be aware that you're passing up opportunities to connect with the young ladies who are present here. Either you change with the times or you miss out on having easy sex. I have no problem doing so because it is standard practice for men to pay for the privilege of having access to women. When all I need is some money, I'm never going to approach women again. I've learned my lesson. If you have the audacity to come in here and tell me that I'm wrong, then you must be living in some kind of fantasy world. If I was successful in convincing you that dating is dead and that men don't have to approach women anymore, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more eye-opening revelations. However, gentlemen, I am unwavering in my assertion that dating is dead and that men no longer have to initiate contact. Guys, dating is dead. You just can't see it yet because you're in denial about it.